What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Ralph's Garage. I just wanted to jump in real quick and make a real quick video just to show the importance of doing scheduled maintenance on your vehicles and kind of following, if your car's relatively stock and you're just driving it normally, follow the scheduled maintenance that's set out by the manufacturer. This is my girlfriend's '06 Forester XT. It is a turbo Subaru Forester, basically 2.5 liter. It's relatively stock. It has an aftermarket downpipe on it, just because the stock cat got clogged, and I scrapped it and bought a aftermarket. It's catted downpipe still. It's pretty much stock, and then I tuned it myself with open source. But she just uses it to get to and from work. It's her daily driver, just kick around car, very stock. And we bought it pretty low mileage, and we've had it for a little while now. And it just ticked over 101,000 miles, so it's got 101,814 miles on it. I just noticed I got dirt on my face. I literally just did the timing belt on this thing. So at 102,000 miles, Subaru says the timing belt needs to be done on this, as well as like tire rotation, oil change, coolant flush, all that stuff. So I'm doing the 102,000 mile service on this, and let me show you the tensioner that I pulled out of here, because I'm really glad that I went ahead and did the service instead of just kind of like let it roll. Sometimes people, it's a big job to do the timing belt, and if you can't do it yourself, it's an expensive job. This probably would be like a $1,200 to $1,500 service if you go to a shop. I know I used to charge, like, when I had my Subaru shop, I used to charge like $1,000 to do a timing belt. And nowadays, I wouldn't do this for $1,000 because all these cars are rusty, except for this one. This one's actually really nice condition. That's why we bought it. There's not a speck of rust on it. But let me show you the tensioner that came out of this thing. So I'm going to use my pointer. So part of this service is to replace the water pump. So here's the old water pump. Not a real problem with that I've seen. And then you replace all these pulleys. So these are all individual pulleys, and you can see this one is pretty schwacked. The belt was slapping on this, and sometimes these pulleys will like spit the guts out, and if that motor jumps timing, it's scrap. Basically, you need to completely rebuild it or buy a new one. So here's the tensioner, and you can see, first thing I notice is, look at the oil on it. Right, so this tensioner has hydraulic pressure inside here that pushes up on this pin, and that pushes this pulley against the belt and holds tension on the belt. Well, this thing has been leaking, and you can see that's right where the oil's coming from. It's coming from this shaft here. And I did notice, I was actually trying to set, generally when you do the timing belt on these, you take the covers off and you turn the engine around till all your hash marks line up. Then you take the old belt off and then you put the new belt on. When I was trying to turn it, the crank was actually slipping and the cam gears were not spinning. So I'm really happy that I did this, because if that thing slipped when she was driving it, I would have been rebuilding the motor. So I just wanted to jump in real quick and show you why it's important to do your scheduled maintenance on your cars. So this little piece right here could have cost several $1,000s, but instead I spent, I think, like $100 or something on a water pump. I actually bought all these parts when we bought the car, because I think it had like 65,000 miles on it when we bought it. So shortly after, I picked up a Gates timing belt kit. This came with all the pulleys. And I picked up the water pump and oil change, coolant, tire rotation, normal stuff. beyond that. But the big ticket item is the timing belt. So make sure that you're doing your scheduled maintenance on your cars, because I'm glad I did this. It would have been way more expensive. But anyway, there's BMW content coming soon. I'm going to go over how I've made out with tuning it so far and where I'm going with it. I have a project coming up. If you look here, I'll give you a hint for some of the parts. We'll scan by it real quick, but all soon. I'm prepped to do this. Just had to knock out some maintenance on the dailies before I could mess with the race car, basically. Did an oil change on my Forester today, because I have an 05 Forester that I daily drive, and she's got the 06. Mine is a rusty piece of crap, and hers is like mint. Very nice. You can see even she doesn't have like the roof rails that run this way, which is kind of nice. I kind of want to take her crossbars, because I think her car would look better without the crossbars, and I could use them to haul stuff around with. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And appreciate y'all. I'll see you later.